The following podcast, whoa, that's a little hot.
TrueCar
and Stamps.com.
As brought to you by Hey, do you hate going to the post office like I do? Well, then you should do then you should try Stamps.net. Now, unlike Stamps.com, what they do is a guy will come over to your house and with stamps, and he will, when you're ready to mail them, he will put them on the envelopes for you, and then he'll take them down to the post office. Unless you have a package, which he has to wait in line. Stamps.net is just $15 a month. If you use it, it's good. If you don't use it, just pay the $15. Nobody gets hurt except your bank account. $50. Stamps.net for when you really can't get it together.
Use Stamps.net right here on FitzDog Radio. Don't be a douche. And now here's the podcast.
Boom, boom, bang, boom, bang, 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 boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, boom. Do they add that later in post? You don't have a post, do you?
We have a post.
You have a guy named Eddie. He sits around with the wife with a chicken and the thing, and the rooster starts to play. Hey, did you press record?
Oh, that's right.
Did you press record? And also, are you offloading it to another external hard drive?
A backup?
And by external hard drive, I mean my penis. This is my new way of doing dick jokes. And when I say external hard drive, it's a euphemism for my penis.
What I'm doing is I'm going for that corporate market with the tech stuff.
Oh, I like that.
But they still want dick jokes, so
yeah.
I sandwich them in.
Yeah. What's up with these? What would be that office though? I can't even imagine.
What would be what?
I didn't even really. I'm a bad improv person because I started to space out. So what are you doing? You're going for
two guys with ADHD trying to do improv.
Yes and
yes.
What were you saying? Yes and words are crazy, right? Is that what the bit is? Words. Are we doing words? I love that bit.
I actually, this is an improv, but I wrote a bit about words. Yeah, I did improv in college.
I thought you were going to do the bit you wrote about words. Or that's a joke too?
No, I had nowhere to go with that one.
Really?
Yeah.
You just gave me the finger. You just literally gave me the finger. No. All of a sudden the rage comes out.
I had a tear in my eye from laughing, and so I wiped it, but I happened to use my middle finger. You know, the thing with key to podcasting is produce while you're doing it. Give your guests some cues.
Wow.
Give them a little fuck you. Give them a hurry up. Say, do you need water? Do you need water means slow the fuck down.
Have you heard my cough button, Chunk? What's up with these cough buttons in the studios? What's next? A giggle button? What's next? A burp button? What's next?
How about the fart button is a fart noise?
Everything is... People love bathroom humor now.
Yes.
I'm learning.
What do you mean now?
I never liked it.
Are you serious?
Well, you know, I do a bit about how when I was 4 years old, I would say, gentlemen, is this really necessary? What are we, 3? Gentlemen, I implore you. Can we raise our standards? What are we, 2? Oh.
My Sirius keeps going off.
Hey, I had that same problem in the Navy, and it was a lot of chafing. You know what?
Writing down everything we said.
One time the lady said to me, I don't know what you need, Andy. Something like that. I'm not sure what you need, Andy.
Andy, you seem to be an empty vessel. I've started to use Siri for everything from directions to, or you can order food now. There's an app my daughter showed me, and you just get on it, and you ask for Chinese food, and it pops up a restaurant with a menu, and you can pick the shit and order it.
But yours is working? Mine has never worked.
It's getting better. Worked. No, it didn't used to work, and now it does.
Hey, we're back. This is very intimate. This thing here. You're undressing me with your eyes.
I know.
And I'm like, have you ever gotten it on? Can people see in? Because otherwise, let's get it on.
Well, there's a lot of there's foot traffic here at FitzDog Radio Studios.
Is that how you get podcast guests?
I once did.
Seriously?
My friend Evan Dunsky has an office down the hall, and I was sitting here doing a solo podcast, which I do sometimes.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
Yes.
See, that's a dick joke right there. Let's just say I was doing a solo podcast.
And the mic was on.
Yes. And I mean my penis when I say mic. I'm the guy who does dick jokes, but still doesn't think the crowd gets it.
You do double entendre, and then you go to single entendre.
Right.
Yeah.
When I said podcast, I meant masturbation. So your friend, you were here, and Evan Dunsky.
So Evan Dunsky, who created Nurse Jackie. This office has a lot of writers
famous
in it.
people?
Writer producers. A lot of them have struggled.
I'm famous for my on-camera work.
I thought you were a voiceover guy now.
No, I'm a voiceover guy. You want to hear my voiceover guy?
Yeah.
Hey, Eddie. Hey, Sam. Okay, that was terrible. Why do I ask something that's going nowhere? Can't we just discover? When you offer up a bit, it should be funny. In every case. Hey, ask me about my voiceover bit. What's your voiceover bit? Hey, Eddie. Hey, Sam. My God. So Evan Dunsky.
So Evan comes
in.
in.
This is ADHD. It's an ADHD podcast.
Yeah.
So my goal for this whole podcast is going to get you back on track when you're off track.
Oh, I like that.
And then what you do is
get you back on track when you go off.
What were we talking about?
Bookmark.
So Evan Dunsky
podcast. Comes in, and the guy is a good friend of mine, and I had nothing. I was doing a solo podcast, and sometimes I just hit record, and then I just go, and I see what happens, and nothing was happening. It was just...
because you've done your own. I've listened to all of the solo podcasts.
Well, I did one yesterday. There was the Sunday papers.
You mean I
just open up the Sunday paper, and I read it.
Wow.
And I comment on stories, but I do business,
like you do
science,
like Leno. Here's something.
Entertainment.
Here's
Hey,
something.
did you see this?
You see some medical news here? Yeah, apparently now, Y2K. Jay Leno, it's over. It literally is over.
Well, I like that your Y2K is your reference.
Y2K.
That was 16 years ago.
It's over for him, though. You know how you know it's over?
Oh.
Because he has some kind of car show on some stupid channel.
Well, Corolla has a car show.
Yeah, but Corolla is still on the way up. I don't know. Don't get me another feud with Corolla. These guys who can kick my ass. See, you have no fear. You're the type of guy who someone looks at you funny at a stoplight, boom, it's go time.
Boom. Let's do this.
Me, I'll confront people. I'll say, hey, Corolla. And then I hide under a desk at home. You think Adam Corolla could find my home address? That's why I like going after Seinfeld. Because what's he going to do? Are his fans with the puffy shirts going to come over? What's your problem with Jerry? Did we do this bit already? Am I think? Why is he upset with Jerry? Who are these people putting down Jerry? There's no fear there, but Corolla, fear, come here.
So you have to be more selective. You've had feuds, obviously, with a lot of different comedians, but you don't think about their size or violent nature before you go after them.
No, because I'm more ticked off with it. Like with the Corolla, a lot of it was personal that I went to do his podcast, and this still steams me to think about it. I did it at the John Lovitz Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Where they just called me and said one of my jokes just hit the laugh at the rafters finally because the ceiling is just so high. 6 months later, you'll hear the laughter. So then you have to park I had to park in Goofy or wherever you have to park over there.
Goofy.
Spent $15 for parking. He never reimbursed me.
Right.
So I was already steamed. And then Corolla makes no eye contact. This is a known fact.
And I make too much, people say.
No, but you're connected.
Yeah.
He is. He's doesn't care who's with him.
Well, there is a possibility he has a little Asperger's.
Yeah. Is he now? It's popular to say. I don't know what that voice is. It's popular to say that we're on the spectrum, but I do believe that there is a spectrum and that we're all kind of on it. Not all, but like Einstein, all these people.
Oh, sure.
So is that
Bill
true?
Gates
Is that true with Corolla? You think?
Yeah, I mean the guy's brilliant. You know,
now I feel bad. I apologize. I'm sorry.
I didn't know you were Spectrum.
I didn't know you were Spectrum. You used to go do a lot of shows at the Spectrum, didn't you?
That's right. I was big at the Spectrum.
How do I do it?
It's amazing. So what do? You take a word.
I take a word, and I'm able to come up with any reference. It's not funny. It's not interesting. It's not unique. It doesn't move the ball forward. We don't learn something from it. We don't feel better after it. But you can't challenge me years later and go,
can't deny
there was
it.
No Spectrum reference.
There was a reference. Spectrum. It was very strong.
What's it called now? The WD-40 Arena? What is it now over in Philadelphia? The pain and sorrow.
The
cheesesteaks, the Philly cheesesteaks.
The horrible accident sporting arena.
Yeah. The we're not New York. Sporting Arena.
We're really more New Jersey than Pennsylvania Arena.
We're only known for cream cheese. Arena.
We can get to the shore in less than an hour. Arena.
And then we're still in New Jersey. Arena.
We're half Irish and half Italian. Arena. I do a joke where I go Philly. It's like Ireland fucked Italy and Philly came out.
Well, that's where I did my joke about where the club had the Andy Kindler sandwich. You get to eat it for 45 minutes.
What's in it?
Fear. A side of loathing. Can I have the loathing on the side?
Is it self-loathing or loathing?
Yeah, it comes with a Holocaust reference. It doesn't go over.
Just a smear of anti-Semitism.
Yes. The way you make it sound, it's not so bad.
Right.
You would have been such a Nazi in World War II.
Oh my God. And the thing is, I'm not now, but I look at those crisp uniforms and the discipline, and just being singularly focused like that is impressive.
We're not making a judgment.
No.
We're just saying,
organizationally,
I miss the Jared Subway commercials. That's all I'm saying. I don't say yay. I don't say nay.
What do you think? It was in the news today. Bill Cosby's going to go to trial.
Bill Cosby's going to go to trial. I don't have any sympathy. I never had sympathy for him, only because he was such an unpleasant person.
Yes.
So it's hard to root for a guy who's totally
always disliked his personality.
But I liked him when I was a kid, but not because of other people. There was a couple of years ago where everybody was lying to each other that he was the world's greatest stand-up comedian. Before this thing happened,
yeah,
I think you may be one of these people.
Were
you?
I put him in the top. I put him in the top 3 or 4.
I never liked the. Well, you know what? There's 2 things. I never saw his stand-up, so once again, it's another Andy Kindler judges based on nothing.
Extrapolation from zero.
I didn't like
his new album.
Didn't see it. Didn't like it. But I did like the Cosby Show in the 80s. I enjoyed that. I don't know if it holds up. In fact, I hear when you watch it, your TV starts to slide down the wall. I actually have tried to make that into a joke. It doesn't hold up. Your TV slides down the wall. Can I use one of these things from your 40-year-old?
You're writing this down.
From your 40-year-old HP. Wow. Should you be ready to write a script? You certainly have the holes in the paper ready to go.
Always collate. Because if you have to collate later, you need an assistant.
I take collate once a day.
He just wrote down TV slides
down the
wall.
God forbid I should listen to the podcast.
You're like Joan Rivers. You write down little jokes. You have a file cabinet at home. You put them all in.
I'm like Joan Rivers. I'm going to pass away after a procedure.
Come on. Why go after? Have you ever seen her? You never saw her live.
No, I never did. People loved her. I was never a fan. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's sad that she died.
Yeah.
Why can't I sell anything today? Andy Kindler. I think Andy Kindler said it best when he said, giggling, "It's sad that she died." I just don't like. I think she made up a lot of. How come you don't have the headphones on?
I don't know.
Why am I the only one with headphones? Oh my God! Don't you take it seriously?
No. Let's talk
Don't
about.
Don't turn it off, you son of a.
The last time we did a podcast, not the last time.
The one,
like
the famous
3 times
one.
ago.
Me, you, and Gibbies.
Oh my God! And we had an hour where I was exhausted from laughing so hard. And then we realized that, was it me or my producer that didn't hit record?
I think we blamed your producer.
Yeah.
We did.
Oh, I got to turn you up louder. You're not that loud.
20 minutes in?
There you go.
What are you going to do with the first 20 minutes?
It's 2-channel recording. He can tweak it up in post.
Oh, that's great. So you also hear that, and you hear very loudly a cricket that happens to be near the second channel. That's the best you could come up with, Andy, is cricket? So you didn't press record. We blame somebody because we always do.
We blame somebody, but then you were nice enough. I said, Andy, can we do another one? And you said, let me call Susan. And you called Susan Malgin, photographer for the Stars.
That's true.
And she released you.
She did.
You guys are married, right?
Why would you say that? You know I've been married.
How many years?
It's going to be in May 26th. It will be, we got married in 2002.
I remember that. I remember, wasn't the wedding in upstate
La Jolla,
New York?
La Jolla.
Oh.
La Jolla. It was, it was upstate New York. I decided to go back to New York for the wedding. and to revisit my horrible. No, I had a good time period in New York. Why am I? I graduated college and I drove out to Los Angeles.
I'm reading this book now about happiness because I like to study it since I can't attain it.
Who wrote it?
Well, to be honest, I'm listening to it.
Oh yeah, you do books on. I think it's the greatest thing in the world.
I do books on tape, and
Also, I'm guilty of hyperbole. You know, they can't. The sentence isn't that. They sentence you like 100 years for hyperbole. Should I write that down?
Write
No,
that down.
no.
I want to see your piece of paper before you leave.
Guilty of hyperbole.
Let's see.
Look at this. This is two ADHD people. I ask him one simple question. He can't even remember the
Happiness by Daniel Gilbert.
Oh.
Stumbling on happiness. And one of the things he says is it's kind of an Eastern thing, but that we're, like if I were to say to you, did you have a happy childhood? You would either say yes or no, generally. People
Right.
like to say that. Look at the body on that guy.
Are you attracted to more to men now, or you always have been?
No, I appreciate a nice set of pecs. So
I'm not attracted to men. I just love their penises. They're huge.
I'm not into dicks.
No,
when
I
they're
don't like
flaccid.
them. No, but I like
I
them
hate
hard.
flaccid dicks.
I like them hard inside me.
They get so much more interesting.
Is this homophobic or is this revelatory? Which one?
Revelatory.
You know, my
5
wife's
souls.
name is. People think I'm gay. My wife's name is Mrs. Beardsley. Mrs. Beardsley. 65 degrees downtown Los Angeles. Coming up, more of Andy Kindler's classics that never worked. So, in other words, if I said to you, if you had a good childhood, you would say one or the other, but you wouldn't say.
Well, the point is you don't know because they did a study and they showed people a color of like a paint color, and they showed it to them, and then they took it away,
Yeah.
and then half the people they showed it to again, and they decided what color. No, they thought about what color it was,
Right.
and then they said it, and then when they showed it to them again, the people that hadn't declared what it was were right more often than the people that declared.
Oh.
In other words, we make these sort of like we make these statements, these absolute statements about things, which are because our mind doesn't work in words.
Interesting. Right. We're interpreting with words, but the
Right.
words don't really approximate.
So what-
an approximation.
Right. So since you're making an approximation of even your childhood, it's giving it a label because that's like you can't store away The Godfather, the whole movie in your head. So
Right.
you store away
Cannolis.
I like that cannoli. He'd leave the gun, take the cannolis. You
Right.
had quotes and images.
Yes.
And that's what you take away. So later on, if somebody says, "How was The Godfather?" then you can say, "I loved it," or "I didn't like it," or whatever. But the actual experience that you had when you watched it, you can't put into words. And if you try to, it actually makes your memory truncated over time.
Wow. This is actually.
Isn't that interesting?
I think it's a really. Normally, you're trying to push Jonathan Livingston Seagull on me, or you said you should read Love Story again. I mean, normally you say you should read.
My
you should
Body,
read Brian's
Myself.
Song,
Brian's song.
not the movie.
No.
the book.
Read the
based-
book. Well, you have to write it first because there is no book.
Oh.
It's a movie.
And boy did he love. Is that one of the lines?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he loved, and boy did he ever.
This
is a
sounds
book.
homoerotic.
Well, what isn't?
Was that movie? There was a lot of locker time.
Pens remind me of penises. Look, I'm not gay, but my boyfriend is. The comedy in the 90s. Boom. AIDS. I don't want to get that again.
You remember Kevin Knox's joke?
I know. Oh, his is the war. May he rest in peace. His opening line, and I had never seen a comic from Boston before.
Right.
And he literally, I heard this opening line.
Let's say it
and I was
together.
in 10 years of depression. He
All right.
says that AIDS stands for
adios infected dick suckers.
dick sucker. Adios.
Adios infected
I heard
dick
it was
suckers.
another infected.
No, adios,
adios,
is
they're-
even worse.
Die.
Yeah.
Die is the implication.
Yes.
But he was
That was
making
his-
a comment on, though, right? It was a comment on small-minded attitudes. right? He's playing the character. He's like the dice of the, and you're supposed to go, there's people like that, and he's showing us.
Right.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that joke, and also that I bombed. I think I've told you this story. I bombed at the Laugh Stop. It took me 5 years to get an audition.
In Chicago?
Bombed. No, it was out
Houston?
here. There was in Houston, but the guy he booked it from here. Howard
Mark
Trustman
Babbitt?
was his name, and it took me 5 years or a couple years to get the audition. I bombed. As I'm leaving, I hear John Fox go, these two firemen were butt
fucking in a smoke-filled room.
Yeah. They didn't even get to the
Yeah.
punchline of the joke.
Right.
The roof literally.
I can remember that. I can remember opening for him, and for 30 years, that guy opened with the same joke. And the longer he did it, the earlier they laughed in the joke because they'd all seen him before.
See, I didn't realize that. I thought, I'm not getting why
Well, the
that's
opening
funny.
line was, and he had the gruff voice, and he went on stage with a drink, and he looked drunk. And he'd say,
Right.
2 firemen are butt fucking in a smoke-filled room. So right away,
People
are
it's a
laughing.
fish out of water. It's a fish out of water.
Yeah, well, they're firemen. I mean, post 9/11, I don't think the joke would have worked as well.
Well, tell me how the joke works pre 9/11. So they're firemen. So it's funny that
two firemen are butt fucking in a smoke-filled room.
okay.
And
Oh, do you know the entire joke?
yeah,
Okay.
so the police, the fire chief walks in, and he goes, "What the fuck is going on in here?" And he goes, "Well, he ran in here first, and he fell down." He goes,
Right.
"All right, so." He goes, "Well, then when he fell down, he got a lot of smoke in his lungs." He's like, "Yeah, okay." And he's like, "Well, he went unconscious." He goes, "Well, why didn't you just give him mouth to mouth?" He goes, "How do you think this started?"
Oh, I see. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Oh my God. I hyperventilated.
It's the greatest joke ever written. You should have stuck around, Andy. You fucking heard that first line. You walked out.
Oh God.
And I'm not even telling it right. That's
And the whole premise is, first of all, you better have an amazing excuse while you're with another man. It better be the world's greatest excuse.
especially as a fireman.
Henderson. Oh. Now, I know that Kevin, I didn't know him, but I didn't, I played Rascals with him.
Yeah.
It was him and
Rascals in New Jersey?
Yeah, and I was a bomb. Bomba, bomb, bomb,
Do you-
bomb. La
just
Bamba.
For the rest of the podcast, let's just assume you bombed.
Yeah, don't even say that
Anytime
part of
there's a
it.
story with you doing
And
stand-up.
the guy liked me. You remember Mark, who was the...
He was a mob guy.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, sure he was. He was Italian from New Jersey.
I remember John. You know John Ridley, right?
Yeah.
John Ridley would say that it always would creep him out because there would be like a Godfather poster
Yeah.
in that club in the back office. So he would be like...
They courted the image that they were in the mob.
But he took a lot. Well, first of all, once I was 10 minutes late for the show. Do not be late with that guy. He was so mad. But then he took a liking to me, and he was like, we kept rebooking me until it was like, this is ridiculous at this point.
Odds are, Andy, this is not going to work.
But I know that Kevin was beloved as a, except for
He
that
was
joke.
beloved, right?
Except for that.
No, he was actually a good friend of mine. I love Kevin Knox.
Now, did he drop that joke at some point?
No.
Or
No, his act was abominable. But
did he know? He didn't know that though, right?
No, but he was one of the best performers I've ever seen. I mean, that guy could fucking sell it.
He
Same
depressed
act.
me. His act was so.
He was
such
really
a good performer.
Yeah, it was like I would still watch him, and I'd be
Right.
amazed, and that he would kill every single time. He gave it 110%. He'd go on stage in a sweatsuit with no shirt, and the jacket zipped down to like his navel, and he had a mullet, and he blow dried it straight back, and he had gold chains, and he wore high top white sneakers.
The guys who never wavered in their commitment,
Right.
Those were the guys that I just couldn't. They made me feel less than.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
to me, if I hear something moving around during my first joke, I assume people are leaving or I'm bombing. I interpret every sound.
And these guys never blink. They just
No.
pile drive through this material. But he was
Man.
amazing. He was a guy who
Why did he die? So it was a cancer or something?
he got cancer. Yeah,
That's a shame.
but he would get up at the crack of dawn and he would run 8 miles and go to the gym. Then he'd come home. Then he'd go play golf, and then he'd start drinking.
No working on the act, though. You said.
There wasn't time.
So, okay. At first, when you were going to say that, I thought you were going to say that he was, because that's not my image of a Boston comic being in like running in the morning. But you're
Right.
saying he did that to warm up to party.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, he would drink all night, blow everything, different women, the hottest waitresses. You know that rule of like don't sleep with the staff?
Right.
He did the exact opposite. but he could sleep with one waitress and the next week sleep with another one and still be drinking with the last one. He was
Yeah.
unbelievable. He'd go to IHOP with him, and he knew everybody's name, and they'd all clamor around him. It was like a party just stuck to him like a magnet wherever he went.
Well, that's so funny that you said that, because that week I was so depressed because I was working with him and I couldn't listen to the act. And he must have known, but he couldn't have been nicer.
Right.
He was the sweetest guy.
I know.
Backstage.
Some of my best friends have horrible acts.
Why don't you just tell me? What? Why do
I
you do
wouldn't
it that
call
way?
An act. That's not an act.
Oh, okay.
That's you.
Right.
It's called an act because you're, performing as somebody who's...
Technically.
But you just throw your needy self on stage and see
Right.
what happens.
It's not what some people say funny things. I, funnily enough, say things that aren't funny in and of themselves, but in context, it's worse. If I wasn't in the club, you would walk away from me at a party with my act.
You're not even party worthy.
It's not interesting enough to be performance art.
Right?
It's not compelling enough to be a speech.
It's not sad enough to be a eulogy.
No. It's not funny enough to be an act.
It's not mean enough to be a roast.
That's what I do, and that's what I do. Don't say roast, because I'll think of the Chevy Chase thing again. Every time you talk about it, I get depressed. You got cut out too?
Chevy Chase roast was like 19... No, was it 2000? I think it was 2000.
I remember Stephen Colbert. I didn't even know who Stephen Colbert was. He was on that roast. I mean, I knew who he was.
Al Franken.
Al
Stephen
Franken.
Colbert. Greg Giraldo?
Well, Geraldo, that was a breakout set for him.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Todd, I had to follow. I know who it was at Comedy Central. It wasn't their fault, but they thought I could close the show after Lisa Lampanelli.
No.
Yes, I closed.
This was a 3-hour show at noon in front of people in their 70s.
Well, that's what I said. This is the only gig I've ever been on that was in the danger of going into a second day. It started around 5:30 or 6. For real,
right.
with the eating.
Yeah.
And I was about 11:35 when I went on. After Lisa Lampanelli did Christopher Reeve paralysis jokes, giving her a blowjob or something. He was still alive at the time, and it was he could still give it to her oral sex wise. And I'm looking at my notes. Well, how am I gonna? What would I follow this exactly with?
You've got subtle
With George
references.
Reeves. What do you follow a quadriplegic chunk with? How do you top it? Unbelievable.
You got cut out. I got cut out. Kevin Meaney got cut out.
Yeah.
Did Mark Maron get cut out?
I think he didn't. No.
No.
But this was before I knew Mark, and as well as I do, because we're great. Now I love him. But back then I flew all the way from L.A. and we're both. It's like a complain-a-thon between us two.
Right.
A morose-a-thon.
I would love to do another one. I really felt like I had good material, and I just didn't get a laugh. It was brutal.
But you've talked about this before too. For some reason at roasts, first of all, I don't prepare like I should.
Yeah.
And then I think I would be better. Like if I'm in conversation, I'll do 8 jokes about your clothing,
Okay.
but they're not really great joke. It's like more than that. But then I get on a roast, I just don't think I'm as good as I think I could be on it.
Well, because it's an extremely aggressive sport. People that are subtle just don't work on roasts. I mean, you got to like come at them
Right.
screaming and over the top wise ass. I'm trying to think of anybody who's done it subtly and had it work.
Well, Norm Macdonald did that thing with.
Oh yeah,
He did that.
but he's also bombed at them.
Yeah, but he doesn't. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care, but I'm
Yeah.
saying it doesn't necessarily work.
No, but he did that one thing. He goes, "You're a real chicken scratcher." You know, like he said, like really softball things.
Right.
And it did work.
Oh, it did.
That one time, yeah.
And then there was Jesselnick is
He's good.
he's not in your face. He's funny and subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people do it. I mean, Geraldo was amazing at
Yeah,
it.
he was aggressive.
Yeah, you know. Oh, he was. That's right.
Yeah.
He was so.
I tell you, you go back and watch some of those roasts. There was some really great moments.
Well, now that we're not going to elect a Nazi. I don't think we will. But the fact that when you look back at how this guy has been celebrated, he got his own roast. He got to host Saturday Night Live. It'd be like footage of you helping Hitler out is what it's going to be like. Oh yeah, remember when we roasted Hitler?
Right.
Remember when I gave Hitler a gold watch?
Yeah.
We have set this guy up.
Yeah.
Helped him.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember people meeting him, like Howard Stern has always had a relation. I've just never gotten it. I don't get how there's a part of that guy that you want to entertain or you want to pull. Like, he's never said anything to me that's interesting.
Well, I think for Howard Stern, it was like, okay, here's a guy who's going to just say the craziest stuff about these women he's dating.
Right. And how has that not haunted him more?
Trump?
Do you think that the things that Trump has said, and I can't believe it took us this long to get to Trump, do you think they'll haunt him in the general election, and that so far, because there's been so much other noise with the Republicans running and all that, but now that the thing is pivoting towards him actually running for president, do you think America will start taking more seriously the things he said about women?
Yeah, I do, because as you know, all day long I just rail online like an idiot against the media, because the media is so terrible. All the there's some people I like on MSNBC, the Jews.
Yeah.
But you got this Morning Joe who's a complete prick who
On
opens the day.
MSNBC?
Yeah, he's a right-wing prick,
Yeah.
and he opens up the day. And it's like the media, if Hillary Clinton had done one thing that Trump did,
Yeah.
they would be all over it.
I know.
So Hillary's a big liar to the media, and Trump's like, hey, people like what he says. He means what he says. And so, but I think when it comes down, when that many women hate you, it's like, you know how you look at him and you hate him?
Yeah.
There's more people that look at him and hate him than are into him.
But he's polling dead even with
Yeah,
her
but
at
those
this
polls really are. Those polls, this is the media-driven part of it. Those polls really are useless.
Yeah.
If it gets to August or September and they're tight like this, then we should make plans to leave the country.
Right.
But my suspicion is that she will clean his clock. But that doesn't mean that everybody has to go out and vote. Everybody must go out and vote against this guy. And there's no reason. You can't justify voting for him. Because if you're voting for him, you're voting for him under any scenario. You're voting for whoever he goes to when there's do you remember the whole thing with the missiles of October? What was it, like when we almost went to war?
Cuban Missile Crisis?
Right, we almost went to war, right? And there's a famous part of that where Kennedy ignores one cable that came from, I think it was Khrushchev? Yeah, he ignored it. And he also had Curtis LeMay, who was this crazy general, who was saying bomb them, nuclear bomb them. You're counting on Trump you're counting on Trump being Kennedy.
Right.
He's no Kennedy.
Well, the thing is
who
he's
knows
the
who
opposite.
he trusts?
He wants drama.
He wants drama.
In any given situation, he tries to ratchet it up because it's bullying tactics.
And he's a narcissist.
He
complete
says, I'll
narcissist.
make you more uncomfortable. I'll be meaner than you ever were. And that's the opposite of what a president needs to be.
And he's not. And the myth that my dad was who passed away, was a plumbing and heating contractor. He was a gas heating contractor. He hated Trump. And one time for a birthday present, we thought it was hilarious to get him the Trump board game. So we give him the Trump board game, and my dad says, well, why would you give this to me? Because you hate him is why. And then we were like, he's losing it. He's not. And then a week later, it was like, oh yeah, why would he like it?
Yeah.
What's funny about it?
It was
he
hated him so much he couldn't even laugh.
Yeah, and it wasn't a funny gift.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons why he hated him was that he never paid his bills. He's like a chiseler.
Oh, there's a
Trump.
big thing that just came out this again. What you say about Hillary? Has got like, I want to say 100 different liens on him by the government, by different state governments for not paying taxes.
Oh yeah, and
He forces them to take him to court every time, and then he settles every time because he ends up paying less. But
Right.
It costs the government so much money having to chase him and prosecute him. If Hillary had done that, it would be on the fucking front page every day.
It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous about anybody who could say anything, about Hillary at all compared to this guy. And not only that, he's not going to release his taxes, I don't think, because I think it's going to prove that he.
So you don't have to.
Yeah, because I don't. He must either not give any money to charity, because that's
Yeah.
the other thing is like these shell charity things, like when he had that big thing before of I'm going to raise money for the troops instead
Yeah.
of going. We don't know if he gives a penny to charity.
Well, he said that it raised $5 million, and then they came out and they said it was not even near that.
Yeah. So why he must? Most people I know, my brother's an investment banker, but he says that a lot of the people in his profession, they don't think he. I think the estimate is that maybe he has $700 million in
Instead
real
of
money.
$10 billion.
Yeah.
So your brother's an investment banker. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Stock market's
He's
been
the
a little,
man.
It's been a little crazy lately, the stock market.
Right.
Do you talk to your brother about it? Like, what would he do now? Should I be selling my stocks?
He tells me nothing because he does mergers and acquisitions. So he's
Oh.
constantly in the middle of a deal.
Right.
And plus he has no interest. He's like a genius.
Yeah.
Business genius. He
Right.
just is amazing. But he has no interest in talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he does what he does.
Yeah.
But so
He has other interests.
the only thing that no, I mean he loves it, but he's
Yeah.
not interested in communicating it to me necessarily or talking about it. The only thing that he said is money is fungible. That's the only thing I can remember.
What does that mean?
It means like that it's like money is money. So like if you say I'm getting this amount of money from here and I'm getting that amount of money from manufacturing and I'm getting this, it doesn't really matter where you're like. In other words, like if you say our economy won't work because we have to be manufacturing,
Yeah.
well, that may not be true depending on the GDP. It's money is money. So it's like you can't say because we don't have a manufacturing base that we're not doing well as a country. Now I'm only somewhat getting it.
Right. Right.
But it's
Well, it's sort of like now when they talk about the unemployment rate.
yeah.
There's so many different factors because the Democrats will say, well, first of all, how many jobs have been automated in the last 8 years while Obama's been in office? And so do you include that in unemployment going up? Because that's not in his control. If companies are automating and cutting jobs, that's not Obama's fault. But then also the Republicans will say, even though they say the unemployment rate is like 5% right now, that is actually much higher because
Yeah.
people have stopped looking. And
Right.
so they don't count, or they're working part-time jobs with no benefits.
Well, my problem right now is I'm a huge Obama. I love Obama. I think he's the greatest president I've had in my lifetime, without even being close. And I follow the presidency like with a microscope. So,
Right.
like I'm not saying he's perfect, but like all these things, like when you hear Bernie Sanders, people say he could have passed single payer. No, he
Yeah,
could not have passed single payer. And the whole argument, I don't know if you watched Samantha Bee, but like she's very funny, and she says, Bernie's whole thing is when he gets in there, he'll be able because he it's famous that he said that Obama was weak, had a weak presidency,
Yeah.
and that he should be someone should run against him in the primary. And so like Samantha Bee's like, he's gonna get in there and they're gonna give him an easier time. Yeah, let's go with the Jew socialist.
Yeah, right,
right, so
right.
it's like, but my problem is like, for example, I believe in the concept of free trade, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of demagoguing on the Democrat. I vote Democratic all the time because it's been since I was a kid. Maybe John Lindsay and there were good Republicans when I was a
Yeah.
kid, but not now.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in the demagoguing of like. But my problem is, where do you find like some people say don't do the TPP? Where do you really find the information to make an informed
What's
decision?
TPP?
That's the Asian. Obama wants that Asian
like
trade
like
deal.
a NAFTA with
Yeah,
Asia.
because he's saying if we don't get in the game there, the game will go away. Then China will take it over.
And then Democrats are saying that you got to correct the human rights abuses first. And
Right, and then my problem is I don't think it's I think it's literally impossible to make an informed decision about things because where are you going to get the information from?
Right.
and I don't have the time to research
Well,
it.
the problem is democracies don't work fundamentally. Ultimately, the governments that have historically worked best are when you have a monarch, when you have one guy in charge who you trust and who is able to make decisions based on all the inside information that only he has access to.
This is Germany. This is an exact guy like you, Germany, 1932.
Oh, so into it.
Look, guys.
He makes a
It
good
works.
speech.
It works. You want things
you don't
to
believe
be done?
Me? Go to the beer hall.
Right. Do you like a putsch?
That's not a putsch.
Yeah, beer hall putsch.
Is it a putsch?
P-U-T-S-C-H.
Okay, there you go.
That was when I am obsessed with Hitler, and I've said this in my act, but I watch him every weekend, and I start to, for some reason, I start to root for him in some strange way, and I get mad whenever he invades Russia because that was his big mistake.
Well, when you read, I read The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich last year.
Oh, really?
And
is that Albert Speer or no?
I could check my audio.
William
books
Shirer,
again.
maybe.
Yes, William Shirer. Okay. And it really is built up like it's this amazing journey of a guy who was like Charlie Chaplin. He was like a hobo. He was a tramp.
Right.
You know, he was fucking homeless. He was sleeping in homeless shelters and going to soup kitchens.
That I didn't know.
Oh yeah, in his 30s.
Right.
And you know, he couldn't get into. He wanted to be an architect. He couldn't get into that. He couldn't get into art school. He was did poorly in school, and all of a sudden he got caught up with all this, like, you know, real right-wing propaganda against the Jews.
Yeah.
And he found that he had this ability to speak. He was just on the fringes of these beer halls because he could get free beer and watch people talk. Then he started talking, and he was like apparently one of the greatest speakers in history.
Well, unlike Trump, he was actually also a veteran. He actually served in war, and he's much smarter than. I mean, that's the only thing that may save us is that Hitler was smarter than Trump. But
that'll
evil.
Save us?
Well, because if Trump did get in, he wouldn't be as competent as Hitler.
Oh,
maybe.
I see. So his ideas wouldn't be carried out as well.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, right.
I don't really believe that, though, because I think he is. I call him a Nazi all the time. My mom, the other day on the phone, she said, maybe you should leave Hitler alone for a little because. And she'll come on. She's on Facebook now. So I say the media is covering this election like a horse race. Boy, would their face be red if the Nazi horse wins. And she puts on Facebook, what does Nazi mean in this context?
Your mom is.
She likes Bernie.
She's your troll.
She likes Bernie.
Yeah. My wife loves Bernie. He spoke at Santa Monica High School, where my, it's right in the neighborhood.
Is he running for school president?
He's running for school president. He wants to get rid of the Spanish club immediately.
Did you guys go?
We tried to, but it just didn't work out.
Even with your show business connections?
You know, I called...
Phil Rosenthal?
I called Phil Rosenthal.
No, because he's a Hillary. He's for Hillary.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, as rational people would be. No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I'm kidding. I actually wanted Bernie to have a better... You know, Bernie, I'm actually only angry at the Bernie supporters who are horribly mean. And I'm also don't like him as much anymore.
What do you think about this backlash with the Ghostbusters? You know, there's been a big thing with it's an all-female cast: Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones.
Well, I root for it because I'm friends with Paul Feig, who I've been friends with forever.
Right. He directed
I started comedy. And about a year ago, not knowing that he directed, someone said to me, what do you think about this all-female? And I had no opinion at all, but I just started to go like through 35 examples. Oh, great. Let's have an all-female whatever.
Yeah.
Globetrotters.
Right.
And then I
12 Angry Men.
And then I realized I didn't know what I was talking about, and then my friend was directing it, and then I said, it was like, I felt so terrible. And I told Paul about it. But because it wasn't like I had because I'm not of the generation where I'm like, don't ruin my Ghostbusters.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm those people seem like funny people. Is the movie out yet, or...
No, it's coming out soon, but they're really, it seems really crazy that many nerdy guys would get online. They made it the least popular movie trailer in YouTube history.
Well, have you seen the trailer?
No.
Oh. See, you're like me.
I don't research anything I'm
No,
say.
it's like everyone is saying something about something, but we don't have the energy to watch it.
I know.
Have you seen Have you seen the thing where the kids, the small dog eats a house? No, I haven't seen it. I want to see it.
No, but let's talk about it for 15
I want to
minutes.
see it. I'll probably see it. Oh, it's unbelievable. This dog starts eating a house, And like an hour later, the house is completely deconstructed, and the dog is like lying on his stomach with indigestion.
He's crying because he has nowhere to live.
It's hilarious. I did like that one where the dog is hopping up and down, very excited to see it. That one was good.
Yeah, that's great.
But YouTube, the reason why YouTube is a failure, and we all know it's a failure.
Yeah.
I can't watch more than 2 or 3 of them. I want to kill myself.
Right. My kids watch all
Let me finish.
day.
That's exactly where it's going, is YouTube.
That's why, when you talk about the Jimmy Fallon show, his best bits are being seen by all these kids, but they never watch the whole great show.
All they see is the viral thing. It's like that guy, Corden, right? Wouldn't know a joke if it was introduced to him in a tuxedo, that guy. What's his name?
James Corden.
James Corden. Doesn't have a funny bone. He literally needs to have Tommy John surgery to put a funny bone in his body. He does carpool karaoke. All of a sudden, he's a big. Now that's it. Everyone's doing the carpool.
Doesn't it seem like that bit was already kind of done? Wasn't Fallon already doing like singing
something
with
like
his guests?
He was saying. And the thing about it is, it's that guy before he went to Les Moonves' office and then to pitch something, and Les Moonves goes, "You know what you should do? You should take over this other show." Okay, he was a singer. He's like a singer guy from
London.
From London. So that's the talk show host in the future are going to have Baryshnikov style dancing ability.
Like, we'll go back to the vaudeville days where guys had to sing and dance.
But Jack Parr didn't do. Carson wasn't a huffer. Okay,
he danced a little bit.
He did, but I can't believe you're arguing. He did dance. You know what? You're right. But it's like, what does this have to do with being a talk show host? Like you're sitting in your stupid car.
Right.
Hey, ding ding ding. Come on, people. Go out, do what I do, and watch MSNBC. More.
What song was that? By the way, you can't see this when he was dancing as well.
You know why I'm doing it? Because you told me you can't get clearance on anything.
That's right.
So I can't sing.
I told you to keep it clear. I can't afford royalties. Last time you sang 3 songs on my show cost me $60,000.
And that's before the have we defeated the internet? The people who said they invented the microphone.
Oh, that's right.
Are they done? Is it over?
I haven't heard anything about it. There were
trolls.
patent trolls that went after Corolla.
Yeah.
And I forget which other podcast. I think Chris Hardwick and somebody else. And they had a real case. They were saying that they had the rights to audio recordings being distributed online in a way that was marked by time or something.
Trademarkable. Not trademarkable, but patented.
Yeah, so they were going after these guys, and we raised a bunch of money for Corolla, and he went to court with them, but I haven't heard how it turned out, but we're all still doing it, so
all right.
Must be all right. I wanted to ask you about...
That was the worst detour out of a story I've ever done.
You've ever done or I've ever done?
No, it was my fault.
No, I killed it.
No, it was my fault, because why would I even bring it up? Hey, let's talk about that internet troll thing.
I have
my instincts are bad.
Do you think so?
No. I'm a
Great
genius. I'm a genius.
I'm
a comics comic.
Do you think that the new breed of comedians is any good?
Yeah, I do. I think it's everything goes through cycles. But right now, I do think it's the best time in the world to be a comic because literally, when we started, you couldn't say you were gay. You could. I mean, it's like everybody was. It's like I used to make this observation that whenever they would have like a sitcom and it would have all black people on the sitcom and let's say it failed, they go, well, we tried the black people.
Right.
But they never say that with every white show that fails.
Right.
So there's all this built-in race. It's like comparing a black comic to Bill Cosby. It's like there's all this built-in racism and sexism and all that kind of stuff. I think those walls are being broken down finally.
Right.
Now, for someone like you, who your stock and trade is to probe at people's differences and to, you're back in, pre-Kevin Knox. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what though? Everything goes through cycles, so it might get boring to be. It might get boring to be able to say anything you want.
Well, it's not so much what they're saying; it's how they say it. I find kind of boring. Like everybody's got the same intonations and same energy level, and the same like need to be liked and need to feel like they're part of the audience rather than being You're supposed to be smarter than them and funnier than them. That's why you're at the microphone. Stop acting like one of them.
Well, what you're talking about is you're talking about the fact that you kind of have the idea of the dissatisfied. A comedian is not trying to be liked.
Right.
So that's a big difference. That's why I love Letterman over Leno.
Yes.
How can you like Leno?
Yeah.
How can you like the agreeable guy?
Yeah.
What's funny about that?
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Grab Fitzsimmons. Yeah,
Yeah.
big fan. Yeah, sure. Grab it. No, you want the guy who's hosing down people on the street as they walk by the
Yeah,
theater.
right.
He turns a hose on them.
That's right.
That's what you want. That's what Letterman.
Yeah, I
did.
want a reenactment of a civil rights riot on the sidewalk.
That's
He
not
would
what
only
I
do
was
it to
saying.
black
Why
people.
would you say that? Why? Yes,
Ding, ding,
and
dong,
dang,
ding,
dang,
ding,
dang.
dong.
Hey, that used to be one of my jokes. Was like people would say about how when at the Atlanta Braves Stadium,
Yeah.
when they would go, oh, there's nothing like racist about that. I said that'd be like going to a Chinese table tennis tournament and the crowds, tappa tappa dang dang doom boom ba, yakka takka doop doop doopa doop boing. Carpool karaoke. If I just had one idea like that, I'd be retired.
All right, I want to go through some viewer mail and some
Sure,
overheards.
absolutely.
Okay.
That's what I'm here for. You know what? I'm here to facilitate your ongoing departments on your show.
No, this is from Kurt Gross.
Okay.
Hey, FitzDog, it seems like the third annual Andy Kindler podcast is long overdue.
Yes.
When will it be available? I'm sure your inbox is jammed up with others wanting to know, too. Thanks,
That's
Kurt.
so cool. And that's not a fake name like
Nope.
you normally would do.
That was a real thing. His name is Kurt. Should I give out his email address?
Well, only if you want to.
I shouldn't, right?
Probably not. But let me ask you this, though. Is this only my third appearance? I guess it
No,
is.
it's
No
more than
more,
that.
right?
It's
There was
gotta
one in
be
your garage.
6.
There was one in your garage, alone in your garage,
Right,
where you were all hands.
right.
We did before I even did your podcast. Your podcast used to be 4 minutes long, and you would catch people backstage as they were going on.
Oh, no, that was just once in a while I do a podcast like that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But no, I would say you've probably been on 5 to 6
Yeah,
times.
I think so.
Easily.
Not as much as Gibby.
You heard about Gibby's big news, right? Mm-mm. He got a show on the air. That
Oh.
pilot that he shot got picked up
Oh, that is fantastic.
by CBS following Big Bang Theory, which apparently is Les Moonves said to Mike, I just put you in the best time slot on TV.
Holy
And
moly!
Mike said, understood.
Wow. And what's the name of the show?
The Great Indoors.
And
it's
is
got
this
Joel
about-
McHale as the star.
And my part is.
They went non-Jewish.
But my part and my recurring character's
I
name
would say
is.
a part more than part.
Are you in it?
I am. We'll see.
Let's call him right now. What's up? Now that's fantastic. It's about his. Is it about him
right, let's
being
call him.
married?
No, I don't know. No, it's about him being like. What happened on the phone?
He has such terrible ADHD that all it took. Where is your phone?
That's weird.
Well, I pocket dialed you earlier.
Over here.
This is fun. A lot of times, you won't get this on a lot of podcasts where they won't bring you in. They won't bring you into the search for the phone. You want me to call your phone?
Yeah. Call my phone.
Bang.
So Gibbons' show is on. I think it's like. What is Big Bang Theory like? Thursday nights? I mean, on the sitcom network on CBS.
Right. Okay, I'm calling you now.
Crazy good fortune.
That's fantastic.
And I think. Oh, I got it.
All right, good.
And I think he's going to make a lot of money. You know.
He's
the creator and the executive producer.
What's it about? So he was at the upfronts and all that kind of thing?
He was at the upfronts. He was at.
That's how out of the loop I am. Was there pilots? Did they have a pilot season this year? When is that?
You must have
exactly?
auditioned for some pilots.
Is that why you have an office near the airport?
He said he was busy this afternoon.
Oh,
so
come
we'll see
on.
if he's in a
Answer that
meeting or
goddamn
something.
phone. If he's on, what could he be meeting about? The show's picked up.
Yeah.
It's already got a back 9.
It's got 13, he said.
Oh, my God. Pay or play? 8 or 80? Remember that with the Charlie Sheen thing?
What's that?
Anger management. He was like the new kind of show you make. You have to buy 10 or 100.
Right.
Oh, look at him. And then Mr.
That
Big
show
Shot.
is a hit.
Mr. Big Shot.
Yeah, not taking
Mr.
the call.
Please leave your message for 3.
Mike.
Hi, Mike. It's Andy Kindler. I heard you have a show. I'm not asking to be on it. This is not what that's about. However, is there an address I can send my sizzle reel?
Andy has an idea for the theme song for the show.
You ready?
Yeah.
It's Gibbons Show, and it's Mikey. It's Gibbons Show, and it's on the air. Big Bang Theory, then his show. Everybody's going to have a good time. What do you think? Is he nervous about it? So what's it about, though?
It's about a guy who was a travel reporter, out in the wilderness.
Right.
And then the company decides to get rid of that part, and it's just online now. There's no magazine anymore.
Oh.
So now he's hanging out with millennials. He's got to deal with the millennials.
How do people come up with ideas? Here's my idea. I'm a stand-up comic. I do stand-up comedy, and then I come home and I go over my set. That's all I can think of.
I know.
I'm a stand-up comic, but instead of that, I used to love that Mitch Hedberg, when Mitch Hedberg got his big deal.
Yeah.
They were like, it's the only business where you're like, oh, you're a comedian. Can you also bake? Or, you used to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard because you got to try to come up with a metaphor. Well, your agent's like, they're not buying shows with comedians in them anymore.
You have an agent?
I just had a meeting there today for the first time in about a year.
APA? Gersh?
United Talent Agency.
That's a big agency.
It's a very big agency.
Isn't that Ruth Ann Segunda?
Yeah, Ruth Ann Segunda.
It is?
She's on my team.
Wow. I stayed away from the big agents. CAA? They were clamoring for me for years. I can't do it, guys. It's too big. Too big. ICM? Not my style.
I see. Not me. I pitched some ideas.
Okay. Oh, you know what? We cut off your. You were going to go to viewer mail and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay, let's do that. I'll tell you my pitch ideas.
Oh no! Tell me the pitch. Go do the pitch first.
Well, I have one called the Sunday Papers because I do the Sunday Papers on my podcast.
Oh, so this is for a sitcom?
No, this is just
Okay.
a hangout show. It's
Okay.
it's like brunch in a loft in Venice, and you got a bunch of different people. You have and each person does a different section of the newspaper, but everybody jumps in and talks.
But how do we?
about it.
But we monetize it how? Podcast?
No, it's a TV show.
A TV show.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the black guy reads the sports section. The gay guy reads like entertainment.
I love that you're pitching things that are right, like totally, completely wrong. All right, so we have a black guy who's great at sports,
No, but that's the point.
and he can't swim.
It's just a way of saying like, now, I'm so tired of casting that's so delicate.
The other way. Right, yeah.
But now I'm just going up the middle.
Right, go right. Why? That's will be refreshing.
Right.
The whole thing, the whole show, we make fun of the gay guy for 25 minutes. That's the pilot.
I'm not kidding. Why not? That's what happens when you hang out at a friend's house and one of them's gay. It comes up. People joke about it.
That's what's going to be the new. That will be postmodern.
Right.
Will be the courage. It's like Trump. He says all the horrible things that terrible people are thinking. He says things
call
that
the show, the
horrible
terrible things
people.
that people are thinking.
Yeah, he says it.
Yeah.
Many people wouldn't because they wouldn't have the thought.
He speaks his mind. But what if it's not a good mind?
It's
well,
still,
he speaks it.
Finally, someone who does.
All right.
Okay.
Um.
That's your whole pitch, or that's one of them.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I thought we were doing.
I like the
mail.
way you know what we're very
went back
similar.
to the mail.
We're very similar people
Yeah.
because every, I think 2 or 3 minutes, we're both crushed emotionally throughout life. We get excited. It's a show about people who read the various parts of the paper, and what's the point? Meanwhile, Gibbons, on safari. He's got a show where he's a
James Corden.
He's a beatnik.
Right.
He's got a. I bet he has 3 Renaissance projects in the works.
In one, he's a divorced dad, and one he's married, and another one he's
Right.
dating.
It's a parallel universe show.
Right.
With 3 developed lives.
3 developed lives that are all making hundreds of thousands of dollars an episode.
That guy is loaded now. He's loaded.
He took me to lunch yesterday. He picked up the tab. We went to sushi.
Would you go? And someplace you can recommend to me?
Fresh in the box on Washington.
That sounds terrible.
Sushi the size of your foot. Same smell.
I don't like all you can eat. I don't like anything that you're saying. Fresh in the box. It was fresh and that's what when you call up later. I think there's something wrong. It was fresh when we put it in the box. I don't know what you did with it. I kept it at room temperature. Was that wrong? I bought sushi there Thursday. I kept it on the counter. It's Friday. It's now Sunday. Good?
I bought your sushi. I came home. I grilled it. It got very small and tough.
That's right.
Yeah.
My fault? I'll be back. That's the show. People call up and phony phone calls. Oh, you did it again. You lost. You had a laugh, and then you were like, why am I laughing?
Because I want to give you my other pitch.
Gotcha.
Which is a guy who goes, say somebody you love dies, and you have to give the eulogy. This guy comes in and does it for you.
Oh, okay. Like a comedic version or anything?
Well, I just gave a eulogy last week, and I killed.
Did you know the person?
Very well, yeah. His wife asked me to speak, and I did it. There was like
Oh.
700 people there. It was very sad.
How come all I think of, how come I wasn't invited? And
You didn't know the guy. He was part of that whole Matt Malloy group of people from our neighborhood. And we're going up, actually, on Thursday. We're driving up. He had an accident camping. He was camping by himself, fell over a waterfall.
Oh, my God.
So we're going to drive 4 hours and then hike 2 hours and find the spot. And then he was in our poker game. We're going to play a game of poker there. And I imagine there'll be a fair amount of drinking. We're going to camp out and then come back the next day.
Man. Thanks for bringing everybody down.
Well, I gave the eulogy, though, to bring it back up again. And I felt like, you know, like people like Ellen DeGeneres say that they do comedy because it makes people feel good. And they like helping people and all that bullshit.
Right.
I've never met a comic that genuinely meant that. We
Yeah.
do it because people shut up and they listen to us.
I like to make people smile. That's why I do it. I don't do it for myself.
No.
I do it for the other people.
I take myself out of the equation. I try to serve them. I let God work through me.
I let go and let Ellen DeGeneres.
I've started dancing during my 5
First of all, I don't care how long she does it. It's vibrant.
Yep.
It makes me want to move
Yeah.
to a different country where they don't have Ellen DeGeneres' daytime show. You can't say anything. You still can't say anything about it?
I can.
Can you express an opinion
I can.
that she's the most boring
No.
human being in the world? You
I
can't say that. Can you say that working on her show was worse than hell? Is that allowed?
I cannot say
okay,
that.
but I can.
Yeah.
But don't cut it. We don't want to get anything cut out.
No.
But I know here's what happened to her. I tell you exactly what happened. She did this thing, it was revolutionary. She admitted that she was gay. 3 people didn't like it. 2 people didn't like it. And then she said, that's it. No more risk taking.
Right.
I'm a nice person for the rest of my life.
You're right. Now it's coming out a little bit.
Oh,
She's talking about being gay a little bit on her show more.
well, doesn't she, like, what do you mean? Like the
I mean,
day-to-day aspects of it?
Yeah. Yeah. The day-to-day, the gay-to-gay aspects of it.
That must be fascinating. Well, you know, I'm gay, and so, like, when I sleep with someone, it's not with someone of the opposite. Thanks, Ellen. Now do a cross-promotion. Does she ever pay for it? This is the thing, these celebrities, they never pay for anything.
Yeah.
And everything's got to be a freebie. Every one of her tweets, I bet, is promoted. I really care. Who's she married to? Portia de Rossi?
Porskin de Rossi. Yeah.
Is she really married to her?
Yeah.
That's not a real person, right?
Portia de Rossi.
You
She
sure?
was in Arrested Development.
And that's not Anne Heche. I'm the guy who can't keep anything together. I know this pop culture, but I don't understand it. I used to do a bit where I said I wake up every morning and I don't know who Adam Levine is, and then by 6 or 7 at night I remember him, and then by the time I go to sleep it's all gone. Adam Levine, right? He's for The Voice or The View?
Here's some tweets from Andy Kindler. This is from this morning. Oh, wait. Why does it say January 21st? Many ladies don't fully understand what mansplaining is.
Oh, that's my pin tweet.
What does that mean?
That's a tweet that is your favorite tweet that when people go to your page, that's the first thing that appears.
Oh, okay.
And that one is my favorite tweet.
Oh, okay. And then it comes up to 4 hours
Yeah.
ago. Okay.
Yeah,
Nobody warned me that this was going to be a cattle call.
Oh, that's
You wrote that to Simon Cowell?
Yeah, Simon Cowell said he's going to have open auditions for some hideous show at the XL Center in Britain.
Oh, yeah, here it is.
Good luck.
Here it is. I bet Simon Cowell will be a breath of fresh air on NBC.
Fresh hate.
Fresh hate on NBC AGT. Sorry, ventriloquist, juggler, hoverboard dancer. You've got no talent.
Mark Maron did make the observation that's completely true, though, that 6 months later, none of these tweets are funny. Like none of my tweets. So I look back at them and I'm upset about something half a year ago.
All right. Hey, so we're both doing This Is Not Happening on Wednesday night. Ari Shafir's show on Comedy Central.
Yeah, I'm nervous about it.
Well,
you're a good storyteller.
Well, we saw each other's stories. Remember, we ran them at the Comedy Store together.
Oh, yeah. What was your story?
Upstairs. Mine was about getting beat up on stage.
Oh, that's right. Well, that's it. But you're a good storyteller. I have problems with it.
I have an ending, but I don't have laughs throughout the story. Like you watch somebody like Bert Kreischer, or
he'll crush.
He'll crush throughout the story. Just crush.
But some people tell stories good. Really tell them amazingly well.
So it doesn't matter if you're getting the laughs.
I'm looking for laughs. It's my own problem.
Right.
It's a story. I've said I'm doing a story, and now I'm going to get upset if there's not if every line is not a winner.
Well, because your style is to digress and deconstruct, and
which I think I still have to do somehow.
I
tomorrow
think you
night.
do.
I can't just do it straight.
Right.
Why am I so upset? You're not worried about it.
I'm very worried about it. I did some shows this weekend in St. Louis, and I worked the story in a couple times.
Oh, cool.
To work it out. But it's the middle is slow. The middle needs some. Plus, how long are we supposed to do? 5 minutes? Is that enough?
No, what they said was, they said don't worry about going long. Well,
I know. I'm worried about going short.
Well, you had 2 stories, though,
I told 2.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tell them both, and they can use whichever one works better.
Yeah.
But the show is This Is Not Happening. If you want to go, it's going to be. This show will come out after this airs.
Oh, that's not good then.
But it'll air then. This Is Not Happening will air in the fall, and you can watch it then. It tapes at a strip club called Cheetahs.
Yeah.
Get it? Cheetahs? Because you go
cheating?
there and you cheat on your wife.
Why is it in a strip club? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
Oh.
To be different?
I don't understand.
I hear it's great, though.
That's that's exactly what I'm saying. There should be more strip club shows.
That's how it started. Hey, that's where I started.
Let's do dueling fake Jay Leno stories. Here's my fake one. I got to the club once and it was flooded, so I had to do my act from a canoe.
I get there and the feature act, he's not that good. So I said, I'll do his extra time. And then halfway through, I brought him on as a puppet. I did a ventriloquist bit.
That's how boring Leno is. We can't even commit to the bit.
I stopped caring.
Yeah, nobody cares. So, so you're saying that this thing, how long is it? When is this coming out? Next Shavuos?
What's Shavuos?
It's some obscure Jewish holiday.
I believe it's coming out in the fall, but I know there's a lot of
No, when is this show coming out?
Oh, this comes out Friday.
Ooh, this Friday.
Which will be the 29th.
You must have really... No wonder why you were so insistent.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. Well, first of all, we've been talking about... We've been trying to book this for the last 2 weeks.
No, I'm kidding you, but who canceled?
Here's what happened. Last night, April Macy was supposed to be on my show, but then she had a little fender bender. Nothing bad. She's fine, but she couldn't make it to the show. So normally I do that show Monday night with the Sirius show, and then I air it on Tuesday.
Now, did you do your Sirius... So you didn't do your Sirius show
I did it solo. I took phone calls. It went really well. I brought up the topic of the cops are now in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bill where the cops will be protected
right.
from violence in the same way that a gay person would with a hate crime.
Yeah.
And people debated both sides of that.
Mm-hmm. I'm against it.
I'm against it. I think that the cops are protected by
you shouldn't,
rights.
Yeah.
They have the same rights. And
that if you premeditate, try to kill anybody, that you get that's when you get
a real slap on the hand. Yeah.
More time.
Yeah.
So it's like if you premeditate that, you should be,
right.
Lock
but
the
I don't
key
think you want to give cops. The police have the toughest job in the country.
There's no question about
and
it. Except for stand-up comedy.
Stand-up
comedy. The way I do it.
Right.
it's like without a net.
You wear a vest, don't you?
It's without a net. Yeah, it's like comedy without a net, but I'm standing on the ground.
Right.
That's the only thing
right.
that's not dangerous about it.
And the vest you wear, I thought it was a throwback to like Paul Reiser's 70s comedy.
Right, but it's actually Kevlar.
Right.
In fact, I toured as Kevlar. It was a magic act. Kevlar the Great.
And you could bring guns and shoot you, right?
It's like yeah, that was my bit. Ta-da! That is the greatest joke of all time, right?
Yeah.
You know that joke?
Yeah.
Okay.
You the aristocrats?
No, it's the guy it's the magician who says, tonight I will do my greatest magic trick of all time. Anybody in this audience, you can take this sledgehammer and you can hit me as hard over the head as you'd like. So the guy comes up from the stage, hits him over the head with the sledgehammer. He's in a coma. He's in a coma for 2 years.
2 years.
2 years.
Jesus.
And he wakes up out of the coma in the hospital and he says, ta-da. You never heard that one?
That's great.
That is the greatest joke.
So good. That might be the greatest joke of all time. Yeah. All right, so listen, we didn't get to a lot of you.
Oh. You want to get to it now?
I don't know. I feel like that joke is a good way to go out.
Okay.
Don't you?
Well, I always wear out my welcome. So I think you should wrap it. You should use your instincts.
I want to plug some dates. You have any stand-up dates coming up?
I'm going to be doing some shows in the Carolinas.
Let me see.
On June
Andy.
June 9th, I'm going to be in Charleston, South Carolina at Theater 99, and then a couple more dates there. And I'm going to North Carolina. I'm doing a date in North Carolina as a protest.
Are you going to go into the bathroom?
I can't
Thursday,
afford...
June 9th, Charleston, South Carolina, Theater 99. That's the only one you have listed here.
I know, because my website's bad. But then the next 2 days, it's going to be in... I end up in North Carolina. I'm bad. And then it's the 16th to the 20th at LOL Comedy Club in San Antonio.
Okay. I, on the other hand, will be performing in Texas, San Antonio, Texas.
Me too.
Are you?
LOL. Is that where you're going to be?
Is that what it's called?
Well, there's one in the River Center and there's one...
Yeah, the River Center.
Oh, okay. I'll
be at the River Center at San Antonio the June 8th. Or is that July?
Oh my
no,
God.
June...
It's the oldest. We're the
Fuck,
oldest
is that
comedians
July?
in the
Oh,
business.
it's July.
Oh, what do you got coming up in June?
I've
Nothing?
been giving out the wrong fucking dates. July 8, 9, 10, I'll be at the River Center. I've been saying June 8, 9,
So do you
10.
think people are really going to wait a month and to think about it?
I think if I beat them over the head with
That's
it, a
right.
couple will come out.
Well, you sell out everywhere, right?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Andy Kindler, thank you for being my guest. You're the best.
It's literally unbelievable. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, John Matthews. I love you. And God bless America.